Okay guys, welcome back. It's time for me to talk about NXT takeover UK Blackpool 2 and how I feel about the show, even though this video is 3 days later, but I don't care. It's time for me to talk about NXT takeover UK Blackpool 2. Actually, the whole show was decent. It wasn't as good as NXT takeover Cardiff, but it was still a good show. And I had a good time watching the pay-per-view, but there is a but. The problem with the pay-per-view was that most of the matches were just meh. They weren't good. They weren't on the same level as the other NXT takeovers. I'm not talking about the NXT takeover, the NXT UK, but NXT in general. They weren't on the same level as the matches NXT produced on takeovers. So yes, the first match was Eddie Dennis versus Trent Seven, and it was a good opening match, but it wasn't as good as, for example, Travis Banks versus Noam Dar. That match was way better, but this was just a normal NXT match. Basically, it wasn't a NXT takeover match in quality. As regarding the names, it was, but on quality it wasn't on any level of an NXT takeover. It was just a match that we could have watched on a normal NXT show. The same goes, in my opinion, for the triple threat match for the UK Women's Championship, and it was a decent match. It wasn't the best match I've seen, the best women match I've seen. In fact, it was just meh, as I was saying before. And yeah, as I forgot to say, Trent Seven lost the first match, and this match, it's triple threat match between the women. So Katie Ray retained her belt against Piper Niven and Toni Storm. Then there was my favorite match of the night, and it was basically, in my opinion, the only, this and the ladder match were the only two takeover worthy matches regarding quality. And the match, the third match was, of course, Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin. And this match was unbelievable. Match of the night, and one of the matches for the year, one of the matches of the year candidate for sure. And Tyler Bate won the match after a great fought match back and forth between him and Jordan Devlin. Then the ladder match was the other match that was worthy of being an NXT match, and it was Gallus versus Imperium versus Grizzled Young Veterans and Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. And Gallus retained after a brutal ladder match. Was pretty brutal, great of spots with ladders, etc. And yeah, it was great, a great match. I loved it really much. And these two matches, Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin, and the ladder match for the NXT Tag Team UK championships were the two matches, probably the two best matches on the card, and probably the only two matches that deserved to be on that card, because the main event was, in my opinion, Walter versus Joe Coffey. Underwhelming. Was really underwhelming, because Walter and Joe Coffey don't have any chemistry at all, and yeah, the match felt sloppy, and yeah, I didn't enjoy the match at all. It wasn't as good as for example, the same match we had. It wasn't as good as Walter versus Tyler Bate that we had on the last NXT UK pay-per-view. That match was fucking amazing. I fucking loved that match. It was one of the best matches of the decade, and yeah, I can't understand why this match wasn't on the same level, because Walter and Joe Coffey are two great talents, two great professional wrestlers, and yeah, in my opinion, the only problem was that they didn't have any chemistry at all, and probably the way the match was booked, it was mostly a brawl, and with zero wrestling moves, zero spots that made you jump off the chair like Tyler Bate and Walter like the Tyler Bate and Walter match had. It was like, basically a dull, underwhelming match, the main event of NXT takeover UK Blackpool 2. So yeah, this match, I don't know, it was sloppy. I didn't like this match at all. And yeah, this is pretty much the show. And yeah, the only good thing about the main event, in my opinion, is that at the end of the match, when Walter defeated Joe Coffey and Imperium came out and they were celebrating, out of nowhere, Undisputed Era came and destroyed basically Imperium and Walter, building up their matches at Worlds Collide. And so yeah, this was the only good thing about the main event, in my opinion. So to the entirety of the show, I would give basically 7 out of 10, and because it was an enjoyable show, a good show, but not the best NXT takeover I've seen. So yeah, I would give it a 7 out of 10. So thank you guys for watching. If you want, subscribe, give a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.